Hello, and welcome to Digital Decode with Qhala. My name is Laura Walubengo, and I am your host for this podcast, where we'll be diving into anything that has to do with technology in Africa. And the aim of this podcast is for us to be able to decode anything that's happening digitally on the continent. As you know, the future of this continent is steeped in technology, and so you better be listening. What we're trying to do here is make sure that you're enlightened and inspired. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Digital Decode. This is where we decode anything you need to know about tech and Africa. And today we have a very special guest. I think she's heard this before, but her name is Dr. Shikoh Gitau, and you have to say that, doctor. It's very important. Dr. Shikoh is, among other things, just a fireball of a person. And so I would not take too much away from this. I would like her to introduce herself. And I would love you to be part of this conversation and listen very closely, because I think there's a lot of wisdom that both Dr. Shikoh and I will impart today. Hello, Dr. Shikoh. I've ever called you doctor.
No, you've never. It's important to say doctor. I'm thinking, where? Nobody actually uses that doctor part in our office.
No, Dr. Shikoh is very... Okay. Please.
In the office.
Yeah, in the office. And on emails.
Nobody cares. Anyway, but honestly, because I also don't... Like, it's a big deal. Let me not take it away from, like, my father thought I died doing that PhD because I was in Comunicado. I was hidden somewhere in Cape Town trying to write and do my research and not get distracted. I even quit Facebook and never went back.
Wow. Facebook. Okay.
No. It was we didn't have like Twitter and WhatsApp those days, which was just Facebook. And I quit just to finish my PhD. And after quitting, I'm thinking, actually don't need Facebook anymore. And I never went back. And honestly, after graduation, I never went back because it was my like motivation of finishing. And then like, I actually don't need you anymore. Anyway, because I'm a social person. So my name is Shikoh. I don't know how to introduce myself. I like to introduce myself in something that you can't Google about me. Yeah. So you will do all those things, CEO, blah, blah. But at the core of me, I'm a child of God. I like it. It's very important for people to know that my identity is 100 and maybe 300% formed by Christ. If I was to die and rise again and die and rise again, I will still have my identity anchored in God, because this breastplate I wear, it's actually written inside 1 Corinthians 15:10. It's by the grace of God that I am who I am. So that is a core part of my identity. It is my identity. It's not even a core part, but it's my identity. I'm also a mother. I have a 9-year-old son called Kiama. Lovely, lovely human being. He makes me laugh and cry. You need to be a mother to a son to understand my predicament. But he's very smart. He's always challenging me, and he anchors me. I mean, a few days ago, I was at the celebration of our auditors were celebrating their 25th year anniversary, and they brought their son, who is just a year older than my son, and for me, that is legacy. Is like, are you able to bring your child to a celebration of yourself? And they won't go to the bathroom and somebody's not gossiping you something random. You know, that's what happens. That is legacy, is being able to be true to yourself in a way that whatever you do is so true to yourself that your children, you're truly proud of what you give back to your children and you pass down to your children. And for me, that is, I pray that every day, like Kiama, I live in a way that Kiama will be proud of his mother when he grows up and he comes to himself, that he's proud of the woman I am right now and the values that I live for. So I do that. So I live for the audience of one God, but also have my accountability partner is that little boy, because he will grow up and one day he will ask questions and I need to be able to honestly answer him in a way that I can. And then I'm a daughter to Bishop Reverend Daniel Gitau and my mom, Fanny Gitau. They're pastors in Nakuru Crisco. I have 3 siblings. My twin sister, who looks like me, so this is not Jennifer. And my brothers, Thomas and Joe. Joe is also a pastor in Nakuru. At
Oh,
least,
he is?
Yes. At least one of us became a pastor.
Allah.
My father is very
Your
happy with
father-
that story. He has his new album coming out. He's a worship pastor at
Oh, wow.
at Trinity Chapel, Nakuru. So yeah.
Well, let me take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
So you said that your identity is in Christ.
Yeah.
And what is it about God that shapes your identity? What part of your identity is shaped?
Everything. It's the aha-ness of my life. Like if I was to summarize my life, to be aha, because look, I always tell this, and I say this not from a point of like I want to be like a movie story. I was born in Madare, guys. Like my parents had lost another set of twins. Yeah, and I don't want to release my mother's private things, but we were almost getting, my son and I almost died. Yeah, we were born premature at 28 weeks. It was Pumwani when it was Pumwani. Like Pumwani was a good hospital. That's when we were born. Yeah, it was in the good days of Pumwani. We had good care. But leaving that hospital after we turned 36 weeks, they didn't wait for our first 40 weeks. This is government money, get out. You can breathe on your own. At 36 weeks, you're getting out. And where are your parents taking you? To Madare, to a cardboard house. You know, people don't understand cardboard. When you buy things and it's put in a box, that is cardboard.
So
that is where you're taken.
So that's like that's your wall. Your wall is made of cardboard.
Yes, that's your wall. That is what it's made of. So you and your neighbors, you can smell and hear.
You can hear this. So there's no soundproof.
Soundproof is your story. And you know, my mom tells me this story, and you think about it. But the one thing my mom tells us that when you were just leaving the hospital, up in Jamadare, at this Walalo guy, I didn't know the Walalos when I was born. But anyway, they've been there since tomorrow was. Anyway, so this Atiwalalo guy comes with a car. Yeah. And he sees my mom and my dad carrying, you know, they were young. My parents got us when they were not teenagers, but they were young. They were in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And they were carrying these twins. And he stopped and said, you know, those children are a miracle.
Wow.
They're going to make you proud.
Wow.
And he carried them to their cardboard house. Me, I would say angels. And this man carried them. I mean, we were carried in a car, guys. From the hospital to Madare. But you see, it's those indications of God's grace from the very beginning. Like, there was this guy who decided my parents are not carrying this set of beautiful twins. Beautiful. To their house. That is God's grace.
Yeah.
That's God's providence.
That's amazing. Yeah? And even just the declaration that he made on you guys.
And it's actually, my mother was just telling us that the other day. I'm thinking, why didn't you ever tell us this?
You don't mix the story.
Yeah. She was always like, no, madre. Anyway, so knowing that is where you are born and taken, and knowing what I know now of just the chances and probabilities of survival were too low. So my parents didn't have like a sustainable job. My dad did not go to school. He went to class 4 and quit. My father's story is for another day. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And here we are, little people. Not even like, we were born preterm and we were kicked out of the hospital preterm. Like, we were 36 weeks. We can breathe on ourselves. And you start realizing the hand of God. Yeah, we were supposed to die at birth. Yeah, or before birth, right? We were supposed to not have survived to that 36 weeks. We were supposed to have died at before 1 year old, because who survives in pneumonia, virus, bacteria, the spaces. Yeah. And then thankfully, my uncle calls my mom and says, okay, you cannot bring up those children there. Come and live with us. So we go and live with her. The first, I think, 1 year, like early, we live in. But my parents still had their house in Madare, right? Because my father wanted to be independent.
It's important.
And then the coup happens, they lose everything. We are shipped, because of the coup, we are shipped to Molo. Gishagi.
Wow.
So, what are the chances that you...
But that you guys were young. Like
we are young, kabisa. And you see, it's this... You see, this man, my uncle saying, come, I relieve you. Here is money for food for the children, you know. And then you going... then the coup happened. I always say, I always say, when bad things happen, there's something God is doing to some people. And let that person be you. Because sometimes you're always complaining. All things are not happening.
I like that. Let that person be you.
Yeah. Yes.
Decide.
You have to decide, because sometimes you're so taken in with your complaining, you forget that God is still in the business of doing good, even in the baddest of situation. And I always think about it. If the coup had not happened, my parents had not run to Nakuru, we'll still be in Madare.
You'll still be in Madare.
No, I'm not even... Like, I keep thinking about it a lot.
I don't think you would, because, okay, at what point, let's say, what is it about maybe living in Nakuru that has shaped your character to what it is now? Because I feel like, apart from God's blessings, there is the shaping of personality and character that has made you achieve what you've been able to achieve up until now.
I think my parents stopped, like, because we went to Nakuru, a much smaller town with lots of family, because both sets of my grandparents were in Nakuru.
Okay.
One in Molo, one in Solai. We are in those families where, even back at your father's cousins, right? So when my parents moved to Nakuru, my mom was pregnant with my bro. So we moved we went to Molo, and then when she was coming to give birth, we moved to Nakuru now, to Ronda. Ronda is another slum in Nakuru. And to my dad's cousin, yeah? And my dad's cousin had a daughter, we call her a big sister, she's called Ruth, who helped bring us up. Because there was no family, there was like a community that helped us. But most importantly, I always say Nakuru connected my dad with a very strong pastor, bishop. He was a bishop. He was called Bishop Tom Abungo, and who mentored him. So he was not just running around Nairobi doing hustling. I mean, if you hear my father's stories, it's dramatic. Right? He needs a movie. But he went to Nakuru and got rooted. There is that thing of being rooted under, especially for pastors and people in the ministry. Instead of trying, I'm going to start a church here, then you start, and my dad got rooted. Like Bishop Abungo became a big part of his life. Yeah. And he mentored him, yeah, encouraged him to learn and read. My father will be reading, yeah, because you have to read the Bible and do exegesis or something like that, yeah. Defend the Bible, defend the Word of God, think analytically about it. And Bishop Abungo helped my dad with that. And I feel, because when I look at it back now, that's when I saw my dad walking through the process of learning under a person, being mentored, growing himself. And yes, there was the hustle. It was not easy, but that grounded for him, grounding helped all of us ground. And grounding does not mean living in a big palatial house. It means that your father has a vision he's working towards. He had this man who was his role model that I want to work and become like Bishop. But remember, he was in his 20s. When you think about it, he was in his 20s. So he was looking up to this man to be like him. Right? And that grounding and get mentored and rooted and growing roots somewhere helped. And so, and as an extension, us guys became rooted as well. So even when he moved churches, he moved to a church that was also extremely rooted, Crisco, with the apostle, They had like a proper structure.
Mm.
So it was not like he was freelancing. And there's nothing wrong with freelancers. Please don't come on the podcast and complain. But as a pastor, it was just that level of leadership that I feel for me, even when I look back, helped us as a family to be very grounded, to be rooted, to believe. And my father is like, he's a walking faith. Like if faith was a person, my father is it, right? and my mom speaking the word of God to us because they had that inside of them and they could point to where they were going, that visioning, that helped us a lot, yeah? And yes, we didn't go to the best schools. We didn't have we were not going to like the best palatial home. I always thought my son, who does not believe in living without internet and electricity, as guys saw at TV when I was 11. So it is things like that. Because right now, when people think about vision, they think about, I need to read your books. Sometimes it's a human being who builds that in a person and it becomes a generational blessing.
But it's interesting you say that because that's actually what I want to ask you next.
Mm-hmm.
You have a vision.
Yes.
You have a vision I guess you have a vision for your life.
Yeah.
But you have a bigger vision, which I think a lot of people subscribe to, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
Your vision for Africa. So as you saw your father being mentored and all of you are getting grounded in the things that he's learning, how did you develop your vision and why was that important for you?
So I always say, this is going to sound weird to people who actually don't believe. So because we prayed in our house, every day at 8 o'clock on the dot, we sat and prayed and read the Bible. And my mother told us, God can speak to you.
Mm.
And so from a very young age, because I could hear my parents pray, God, we lived with Jeremiah 29:11 everywhere. My mother wrote it. It was posted everywhere. And my parents used to pray a lot about their future. When you're as a child, you don't know, but you're hearing subliminally. And even you start praying about your future. And I remember, I think I was age 9, and I was praying, I think, as saying, God, what is our future going to be? You're mimicking. Sometimes when I hear my child praying,
it sounds like you.
He's mimicking me. So I'm very careful what I pray.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure I was mimicking. And randomly, I dreamt. I remember that dream today. It's crystal clear. I dreamt I was in a place with a lot of, at that time it was a lot of children. So because I was a child, but it was a lot of people. And it was very clear that I've been called for to my generation. I didn't know what that meant. And it explains my struggles in my late teens, early 20s, when I finished college. Have I been called to be a pastor? That's why I started with my brother is a pastor. Oh, phew.
Remove that.
Moved on. Being the oldest daughter, I'm thinking, hey, maybe I'm who's been called to this ministry. But I've been called to a ministry, right? And I've been given a gifting in the technology space, and I do not ignore it. I do not ignore that this is the person I am. And I try reading, I say try because I've not been successful. I try reading the Bible a year, throughout the year. And I usually stick at like Leviticus.
And the son of who's the son of? Is that the one?
The son of who? And because you're trying to read through the Bible, you can't skip because God, I think God is seeing me skipping this. Anyway, so the more you read, the more I feel like every time I read, I find something new. So 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, it was after 2020 for sure. I'm reading through the Bible and I land on this guy called Bazarol. And I'm reading, I'm thinking, oh my God, I like this guy. He's the first innovator in the Bible.
I've never heard of him. I need to check him out.
You need to check him out.
Leviticus.
Yes, he's not in Leviticus.
Okay.
He's in Exodus.
Okay.
He's the guy who designed the first tent of worship. So it's a temple. It's not a temple. It is like,
I think it was called in specifically to do that job. Boy, like you come.
He was not called. He was created. So in the Bible, he's the first person that the Bible says he was filled by the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit was to do very specific things, to create. So me being me, I read this in the Bible. It's a very like it's most people. I mean, and even I don't let me not blame most people. Even I have like read through that verse quickly, going to what did Moses do next, But I read this and it hits me. Oh my God! So Bezalel and there was another guy. Can't remember the other guy because Bezalel is the one who made an impression on me. And then I said, okay, because me, I always say I'm a Christian and I love God with everything I mean. But me, I'm always like, let me go and counter check this information. So I go ahead because I believe like if you believe the Bible, it's a spiritual text, but also it's a historical text. So somebody else somewhere must have captured this Bezalel somewhere else. And sure enough, I found him.
No way.
In Hebrew, Jewish text. And there, they explain him even better than the Christian Bible. Because in the Bible, they say that the Spirit of God was in him, and he was given the Spirit to create. And Moses will go and talk to God, and then Moses will pass over, like, God has said, here's the blueprint here, draw 15 meters to the right, to the left. But in the Jewish scripture, they say, actually, as God was downloading it, because I said downloading it on Moses, he was downloading it on this guy. It was built in him. That when Moses say, ati God alisema ujenge curtains, put the curtains, and then we do the door. He'll come and say, Moses, does that make logical sense to you? Because the curtains have to lie on the door. So we have to do the door.
Oh, that's interesting. Before
the curtains. And because creativity, he was created, the Spirit of God was in it, and he was created. The Bible clearly says he was created to do this work. And so things came naturally to him. So when I talk about grace, when I read about this guy, I went back to my life. There are things that just come naturally to me. I will not even lie. Like I have read. It's a lie. I read a lot, but there's some things that just come naturally to me. I don't even know how to explain it. I can read a concept and I get it instantly. Like you don't need to explain to me.
I think I've seen that.
You've seen that,
I've
right?
Seen that.
And I started holding myself, realizing that first of all, I was afraid of myself because I was thinking, this is not normal, right? Like I'm abnormal kiasi.
I think from the time you were born, I don't think anything normal about your story.
And so you're thinking, okay, why am I getting in it? Why is everybody struggling? Like in high school maths, my God, everybody was struggling. I'm thinking, okay, this thing is so easy. So I'm also pretending, by then he had sana. Then my maths teacher could just call me out and just say, no, you actually know what you're doing. Because everybody's saying it's hard, you're answering it. And Mrs. Collier is just actually, she's one of those people who, there are many angels that have been sent in my life. Mrs. Collier is one of those women. She just called it out and said, I like the way you do maths. Yeah. The way you approach it, I need you to go. So I went to an old school from 1960 something. Go and get those Carrie Francis maths. Start doing it. I did all the maths books in my library. And then she realized, okay, amefanya zote. So I started teaching like Form 2, when I was in Form 3, Form 2 maths.
Wow.
Like coaching, because we are in a dorm, we had 4 beds, like Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. And I'll teach like other people how to do maths. It became, because maths came very naturally to me. I remember in college, I was remembering this the other day because it's something I actually need to speak about. So in college, I was good at maths. I remember, because I didn't make the grade to do, I know this is one of those things that God does to humble you. Because anakushikaga mahali. So in high school, I was doing well.
I don't think it's you.
No. So it's grace. That's what I'm saying. I keep saying it's grace. In high school, hormones, and you're saying, I'm going to pass this. I didn't pass. In fact, my maths teacher, my principal, asking me, do you want to go for a remark? Because this is not your grade. I cried. I was depressed. But it was a God moment because it humbled me. It humbled me so much. I went to a pre-university program. And I'll come back to another angel that was sent to me at that time. In the pre-university program, so it's like an upgrade. It's like you have to go through a year to upgrade. You're doing some university courses and some high school courses to make sure that you're bridging the knowledge of not passing. And I aced pre-university. I got all A's. But for you to get exempted from some courses now in first year, you have to receipt the exams for the first term of the first year of the university. And I remember I've never told anybody this. So I remember sitting for that. I mean, doing the exam. The night before maths, my friend calls me. I will not say their names because they are important people in this country. They know themselves if they're watching this. So two of my friends call me and say, "Hey, Shikoh, we know you are going to ace this maths. However, Aki, please help us." I said, "You know me, I don't cheat." They said, "Please, please, please help us." So we went, locked ourselves in a classroom. No, it was not like 5 of us. It was like 20 people. I did all the maths, showed everyone how to do the maths because I knew it. Yeah. And everybody understood. Guess what happened? See, the maths teacher knew. And he knew the kind of a person I am. I claimed to be a Christian and I was part of a cheating scheme. Yeah. I got everything in that paper, but he failed me. And I'm always grateful for that.
Whoa. That's a serious lesson in integrity.
Serious lesson in integrity because I never, people say, we have gotten the math and said, guys, I cannot be part of that. Because I wasted a whole term doing these maths that I knew. Like, it was like just a waste. Like, even him, he knew. He would come to the class and say, I know you know this. Like, it was just a waste, but it was good for me. I still did get the A at the end of the term, but it was a good lesson on like, you can't be saying something when you're living something different. And I'm grateful to that teacher. And I'm also happy that my friends, the people who are in that class, they passed. They skipped maths. And it is one of those lessons that God sends, like painful lessons in your life. You didn't learn from Form 4.
Let me show you.
Well, let me show you. Because if you don't learn a lesson, imagine it always comes back.
Let's go by. But you need to learn this.
You have to learn it and pass. Me, Aki, there are some things, even like at work, people say, Shikoh, we can't. I say, let me tell you, because it will come and bite me. I've learned it. And yes, for some people, an exam in high school, an exam in uni, right now does not matter. For me, it matters. It was a lot of pain. And the lesson that I needed to learn is how painful it can be when you're not truthful, when you don't live in integrity. And for me, that is important. Yeah.
I think if we look at Qhala and we look at the work that Qhala does, that always stands out. It's very important for you, and also I guess for the projects. Integrity is number one.
Number one. There. It's non-negotiable.
It's yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes you sit in the room with kings, for lack of a better, apart from the knowledge that you have. But I'm interested in the vision. So you prayed for your future, and then you have innovation. Yeah, you talk about Baswell. So this is tech. Innovation is tech, really. And so you have tech, and you have Africa. Africa can actually be depicted by how you've grown up. Tech can be depicted by the things that you've learned. So at what point did you marry these two and decide that this is the step that you're going to take?
You remember I mentioned Mrs. Qhala?
Yeah.
She hyped me. That chick hyped me so much that I knew I had a career in maths. So it was two things. I was either going to do double maths at the University of Nairobi. There used to be, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if I was going to do statistics because I enjoyed the idea. You know what stats is? Stats is that you put in numbers, you add some magic, you add some commands and shows you, predicts for you. What does that mean for you right now? It's AI.
That's true.
Yeah. So I knew I was either could do maths, double maths, or stats. That was going to be my career. And I was either going to be like a mathematician, or a maths teacher. Like, I didn't have like many options. When I was young, I wanted to be a medical doctor, but that story died, right? But now, I mean, I was very clear that I had a career in maths. And then I got a scholarship at Nazarene, another angel that God sent out my way. After God humbling me, this couple in Germany that I had never met. Remember Bishop Abongo that I mentioned? That one. Yeah. Introduced my parents to Reina and Dorothea Gootings. Never met them. They heard that I have finished and I'm looking to university. They were Nazarenes. They call my dad and say, why don't you take your daughter to Nazarene? We'll pay her school fees. So between finishing Form 4 and uni, that 1 year, I'd offered my parents, I knew I couldn't unless I went to a public university and got that HELB. It never used to be called HELB. It had another name, JAB, I think, Joint Admission Board. Yeah. Loan. There's no way I was going to get to uni. So that uni for me was like as good as dead. Even I told my parents, we have 3 siblings who are still in school. Maybe I should go and get a job as a cashier. The way you're just like life.
And as a firstborn.
Yeah. And I hope my siblings think I'm a responsible firstborn.
It doesn't matter now.
So I had offered to do that. And my dad said, no. Even where you are, you think I had money to get you to where you are right now? He asked me that, you think I had money to get you to Form 4? I didn't have money. So the same God who brought you to here is going to take you to university. And let me tell you, this couple calls my dad and said, why don't you take to Nazarene? Her to Nazarene, we will pay. With one condition, she has to perform well. Thankfully. School fees in that favor. The good thing, they paid for my school fees.
You already learned your lesson, so you're good.
Yeah. And they gave me a check at the end of when I graduated. Yeah, they gave me a check and they paid for me my first air ticket to South Africa. That's the. And when I was going to uni, I had that one option. African Nazarene University. God is very deliberate about his decisions about your life when you allow him, when you're in obedience. So I go to Nazarene, and Nazarene, I told you about my math story, but they only had 3 programs. They had theology, commerce, and computer science. That's the only thing they used to offer at that time. Nizamani, by the way, Nizamani sana. Right now, I see that in the council, I think we have like 15. And I was saying, I love God with everything I have. I'm not going to do theology. My father is already a pastor and does not have a theology degree. So I'm sure if God wanted me a pastor, I wouldn't need a theology degree. Aki commerce. I dropped accounting in Form 2. That's how much I hate commerce. And then I had only computer science as the only option. Nazarene had these amazing professors who would volunteer a year of their life to come and teach in Africa. So, for example, my maths teacher was like an MIT PhD. She inspired me, and I'd never met like a PhD in computer science. So I'm meeting this woman. I'm thinking, oh my God, I want to be you when I grow up. She told me, you just have to work hard. When you pass your undergraduate, you'll get, and it's like, again, another prophecy. You will get a scholarship for your master's and your PhD.
Nice.
They're looking for people like you. You're a Black young woman doing science. You will get a PhD. Don't worry. Don't let it stress. So my one goal, since I met her, because I met her in my first term at uni, is we are finishing this and you're finishing at a high. Shikoh, you're getting a scholarship for your PhD. And God has been faithful. I got a scholarship for my PhD. I got a scholarship throughout like my education. So I went to uni to do maths, and computer science had the most maths courses. And of course, I was going to do computer science. And then I started programming. Oh my God. Remember, I like manipulating, like typing something and doing. I did my first Hello World in Pascal. And that was it. I was hooked. I was hooked to being able to like that. But in the middle of when I was in 3rd term, because I'm one of those people, I was not going to be lazy. Laziness had taught me, failing high school taught me that, Shikoh, you are never going to be lazy a day in your life. Because if I'd read a little bit, I keep saying, if I just put a little bit effort in reading, even not over reading, just reading enough, because I just needed enough. But God works in mysterious ways. I don't know where I would have ended up with. Anyway, I what was I saying? I was reading.
Yeah, computer science. You didn't want to be lazy.
Yes, lazy. So every term
Hello
and
world.
every summer. So because we are going through the
Summer in Africa or something.
summer like now between May and August we had like a long break. So I'll do summer school. Made sure I did summer school, and then I did an internship. So I never allowed myself to be like lacking for 3 months doing nothing. And I did a lot of internship. By the time I was graduating, I had a full CV. However, one of my internships was with UNICEF. They had a program called peer trainers. And I was sent to where? Mukuru kwa Jenga. I remember entering Mukuru and entering this house. Hiyo ilikuwa ya mabati. And meeting this girl. We are the same age. She has 3 kids under the age of 5. And she is HIV positive. She is sick. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, there's absolutely no difference between you and me. Because likely you were born here. Like me. Because Mukuru and Mathare are like less than a kilometer from each other. Yeah, they're like neighborhoods, the same neighborhood. And it hit me. Laura, that chick is still in my brain. She died, but still lives in my brain. Because every time I get kidogo proud, I get kidogo distracted of what my purpose is, I remember her. I remember her because she was a version of me. And I remember going back to campus and asking myself, why did we get out? Why did I get out? I remember our counseling when I was finishing uni, when you go through career counseling.
I hated that thing.
So the counselor sat me down and said, what happened here? Because I was always acing. I was dean's list. But that one term, I went down.
It affected you?
It affected me. But it also helped me tune into my purpose. I knew I can do math and I can do maths very well. I can do computing. I can do computing very well. But I need to root this back to how is this going to help that girl? How is it going to help her life? Because that girl could be me. And there are millions of others like her. And that time, a lot of people are dying of HIV. Yeah. So much of my work is informed by the fact that I acknowledge that I have the favor of God on my life. That grace, I live it. I am a living proof of God's grace. But I know for sure it is for nothing. It's not for nothing.
Yeah.
It is, I know there are people out there with different ways they live their life. I know I was created for a purpose. And every day I ask God, I wake up in the morning and ask God, what do you want of me today? Because of that girl. She's the one who helped me like be very clear. You know, all tell people, even last week, like honestly, I've been a CEO of this company for 6 years. And I'm very passionate. I speak passionate about my Qhala. But you think that stops recruiters from trying to recruit you?
No.
Good jobs. I was telling the team, I can get
like
employed.
A good job without payroll, without money.
I know.
Payroll.
I'm getting paid. I'll get paid so well. I don't have to think about payrolls. Who is fighting who? Yeah, which client is speaking what? Someone who has not paid us? But I can't, because I believe that Qhala is a tool for good, is a platform for good, for the continent, but also for the people who work within Qhala. I pray every time that anybody who works at Qhala, even for a day, they take away something. And for me, that something is the Spirit of God. It's like, what's the point of doing all of these things if the people who leave the company are beaten, angry? They leave curses. They speak, the Bible says that God collects the tears like this, and he's just saying, into your machozi ya Laura, because I said something nasty or did something nasty. So I try as much as possible to have an impact in a very personal manner, because I know for sure that most of the impact that Qhala will have will never be anything I can quantify. I'm praying that it will be in places where, and in things that will never be even pointed back to us.
So, okay. I like what you say, especially when you call the angels that you say you've met on the way.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm thinking they could be angels to you, but to somebody else, because of your perception or because of your beliefs or because maybe your state of mind at the time, you don't see the potential of somebody's impact in your life. Yeah. So because to you, you were actually looking out for a miracle in a way, the impact that they had on you was even weightier. But now there's all these things that you're doing. There's what you want Qhala to be, and the influence that you're already seeing Qhala having. Even though you can't really quantify the impact, what are some things in those 6 years that make you say, okay, I think we're going in the right direction?
Let me tell you, COVID. I still go back to COVID, because, I left Safaricom on 1st of November. Okay, I didn't leave. Safaricom left me. on 1st of November 2019, and I took some time out to just go and recalibrate and find what me is, because I felt like I know I lost a lot of me there. And then I came back, and at that time I was getting all these job offers, and for me it was like, do I really want to do this? I had like a job offer in New York. I had another offer, and I remember the New York one, they were very hard. Their group CEO called me.
Said, how could you turn us down?
Why did you? I said, and the good thing, it was like, it's a Christian-based organization, so I could evoke the Holy Spirit. I told them, I don't feel like I'll be obedient to God by taking this job. And she was very like, thank you for that. Because she couldn't understand. For her, it was an answered prayer. You see. Anyway. And so that is end of 2019. Then end of 2019. So December 14th, 2019, I remember my PhD advisor calling me and say, another angel, Jonathan, calling me and say, I hear you're looking for a job. I can never give you a job or give you your first client. I'm saying, what do you mean my first client? Said, you've been talking about changing the world using technology. Why don't you do it in your own terms? I'm like, really? Said, yeah, if by 1st of January you'll have set up a company, I'll give you a client.
Wow.
And that's exactly what he did. So I called my friend Josiah and said, Josiah, we are setting up a company. We have stopped looking for jobs. And we set up the company, and on 6th of January we started. We were operational. So during December we were busy working. So then I called my teammates who had not gotten a job from Alpha to come. And that day we met at Pete's Cafe in Chania and started Qhala. 3 months later, 2.5 months later. I think it took us 3 months, because it was 13th of March when COVID happened. But I always say it was enough time for me to get healed, but not get, disillusioned by entrepreneurship. It was enough time for me to get excited, but get the reality, because, I got all my money from my account, was paying people's salaries, hoping, yes, you're getting, when you're pitching work, it's hard, because you're saying, yes, we have this one client, you can't rely on that one client.
Yeah.
And then 13th of March happened, and I'm thinking, I have just turned down a job in New York City, and now what is this? Yeah. And that day changed all our lives, in the world and in Kenya. But remember I said, when bad things happen to you, don't feel bad. When things are bad, when the world is in smoke, look for the warmth. Like, because there's a warmth somewhere. There's something happening, right? And 13th, I remember we had done a project in Safaricom about mapping out cholera in Kenya. Like the team was like, see, we have done this before. So we congregated and started collecting data online and trying to map it out. I called Joe, who was the CEO, who was the Minister of ICT, and said, Joe, we have done this. Are you interested? He said, come at 5 in the morning the next day.
Oh, wow.
So we worked hard through the night, and 5 in the morning we were there showing him. And it's like, this is impressive. Did you guys do it? Lucky Joe. Really? And yeah, I said, can you do more? And we became the skunk work for Kenya during COVID.
Wow.
And I remember 2 to 3 weeks in, other big consultancies started coming to Kenya to pitch. And so somebody was telling me, they'll say, we have our Kenyans doing this work even better.
So impressive.
And for me, that not only changed my belief on God's timing, because that was like impeccable timing. Because if I'd stayed a month longer at Safaricom,
it would have been a different story.
Like there was just so many things at that time. It was just impeccable. But also, it created belief in the team itself that we can change the world. But we actually did change the world. Like when papers came out saying Kenya took some drastic measures around COVID that saved lives, it pointed back to, we told the government, close markets. Kiambu was being closed. Sijui closed the city, open schools. And it's young people in the team. Young, honestly. Kina Ian was so young. And Kina Peter, so young, coding the whole night. And for me, that is changing the world. And I don't think nobody else was able to do it in Kenya. Are you getting it? Like, even when you look back, Safaricom one, with all their data, weren't able to do it. We got data from Facebook, from Twitter, from everybody was giving us, donating data to us to be able to do this work. I need to write a paper about this story, by the way.
I want to ask you, so COVID is one of the major projects.
Yes.
And I think from the different aspects of technology is what you use at Qhala to impact people positively. When you did that for COVID with the team, and it sort of affirmed what it is that you're trying to do, did you feel like you wish you spoke to that girl that you met in Mukuru? Like, do you ever feel like there's something you need to tell her?
No, I feel like if she was looking, she would be happy that I didn't waste the opportunity. You're getting my point? Because when I think about it, it's not like I talked to her. I feel like that I was given an opportunity that she did not get. I want to cry. I was given a chance that she never got. She never got to go to uni. She never got to work with these big companies. She never got to run a team. She never even got to see her kids grow, if they grew at all. Imagine if I had wasted that opportunity by taking a job in New York.
But what does that say? What does that say? Because you can imagine Africa is massive.
Yes.
Africa has hundreds of millions of people.
It's 1.5 billion people to be
1.5
exact.
billion, there we go. And you're you. And Qhala is one organization. As much as you want to have impact, there's so much impact you can have. What is it? What mind change do you think is necessary for us to have as citizens of this beautiful continent to see this sort of opportunity, to buy into these visions that are bigger than us? What kind of person does it take?
Two things. Let me pass. My boss at Google, Steve Rogers, I remember when he was recruiting me at Google, because I had an option to not go to Google. And he sat me down and said, I know you're contemplating not joining Google, but Google will give you an opportunity to build things for 1 billion people. You know, I had already built something for 1 million people that was changing their lives. So when he told me 1 billion people, I was like, what? So in my head, it's not something that is hard. Because you know me, Google builds things for billions of people, and we're going to give you. And one of my products, there's some things I build at Google that are being used by 1 billion people, and I'm very proud of that. Yeah. yes, it's part of a team, but it's something that I was part of that is until today is being used by 1 billion people. Let me tell you. So because what is it? What is it? When you go to Google and search for any job, accountant, whatever, it pops for you the jobs that are closest to you. That came out from my PhD research and from the work I did at Google.
Congratulations.
Yes. So I always say that because people like nini ulifanya. Anyway, but in addition to that, is you have to reconcile with your mortality and think generational wise, not to my generation just now. Why we are greedy, why we are corrupt, is because we are thinking about our stomach and our stomach alone, and at most our children's stomach. We never think to the 4th generation. And that's why the Bible is very clear about to the 3rd and 4th generation. They never say second, because there's no second you can see. 3rd, some will see. 4th, okay, my grandmother has seen until 6. My grandmother is still alive. Wow. She's been called Shushu twice. But it is, you have to think that way. You have to think that I'm not doing this just for me and my family. The decision I'm making today, I want it to be able to affect my 4th generation. And 4th generation are not 2 people. I mean, Africa-wise.
It's actually expanding.
Expanding. When you think about it from that point of view, you get a lot of clarity in your decision making. You start thinking very differently from, I want to eat today. And, you can't blame people from wanting to survive today because maybe that is all they can. But a lot of people have the ability to think beyond themselves and thinking about beyond the tubrot you make in what is that thing? Where's the new place nowadays? It used to be Kangemi, then it moved to, where is that? Ukambani place, yeah? Syokimau, yeah? Before, go beyond the plots. Think about those plots. Imagine if we get a new, I wanted to say mayor, governor. If we get a new governor who is more organized and say we have to do a proper city planning of the Nairobi metropolitan, guess what will happen to your plot? They're going to bomb it. They're going to bring it down and put proper structures, proper highways. If that happens, if that's your legacy, then what happens? My shosho, I'll close with my shosho, my maternal shosho who is with Jesus right now, used to tell me, Ado nio ido.
What does that mean?
That's in Kikuyu or Spanish. It means people are your greatest investment. People, ido means people are your assets. The people are your assets. And you need to invest in people because you have to invest assets, you have to invest in people, and the investment gives you back. It's not just you taking, it's both ways. And that is what I would say is the biggest impact, is the moment we start seeing people as our biggest assets, then the world changes. You start investing in people. Everything you're doing is, what's the impact on this, to this person, the words I'm saying, what I am doing. And yes, we always say, I don't care. Because once you turn 40, say, don't care, do whatever. No. You have to always know that every action has an exact and opposite reaction. Can that reaction be a positive one?
Amen.
Ni kama nimepreach leo, si mambo ya tech.
Kwanza umefungia vizuri. I think I definitely feel like we need to continue this conversation another day. We need to have a part 2 because I think I've just scratched the surface. Yeah, but it's important because I feel like any story or any thing that somebody does, the why you did it, I don't want to sound cliche, but the motivation that takes you there and keeps you there is what you need to share.
Yeah.
That's what people need to pick from you.
And why I chose to say this and not dwell in tech is, you will Google about Shikoh. I will be in a podcast. I'll be on a panel. I'll talk about tech. I'll tell you about AI. I'll tell you about just how unfair the AI ecosystem is to Africa. I'll say all of these things. in other places. But sometimes when you're sitting down with somebody like Laura, it's nice for people to understand I'm not just doing this for the sake of doing. I'm not fighting for Africa's AI sovereignty just for the sake it's for that girl. I wish the sad thing is I maybe it's not such a bad thing because then I would be hearing somebody with her name and getting shocked. But I can't remember her name. I know she told us about her name, but I can remember every detail of her life.
Apart from
and
that.
I feel like if we can change the world and create more opportunities, that girl would have been me. How do we make more me's than that girl? What is that thing what's the lever that needs to be pulled
to get us there?
To get better outcomes from her. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shikoh.
You're funny.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing that side of the conversation. And sure enough, I will call you again and we'll have another chat.
Awesome.
But if you've been listening, I hope you've taken to heart or seen your life in Dr. Shikoh's life in one way or another. Because just imagine if you can create a product for 1 billion people. Think big. Think 3-4 generations down the line, like she says. Thank you for watching Digital Decode. I'll see you again soon.